Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura V. Thank you guys so much for watching today. So as you guys can tell, today I did create a nice smoky cranberry look. If you guys want to see how to get this look, we are going to be using the 35M palette from Morphe. So if you guys have this palette in your collection, go ahead and pull them out if you guys want to follow along with this look. Other than that, make sure you guys hit that like button if you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if you are not already. And hit that notification bell as well so you guys are notified every time I do post a video. I do try and post twice a week, so make sure to look out for those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go ahead and get on into this video. Okay guys, as you guys can see, I have a bare face. The only thing I have done is my brows. As usual, I like to go in with my eyes first. So today I actually didn't prime my eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and start with that. And I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of this CNC concealer. And this is from the brand RK by Kiss. And this is in the shade Light Nude. Okay guys, so I already have my eyebrows done and my lids already set and ready to go. So I am going to be going in with the Morphe 35M palette today. And I wanted to see if I can create a nice smoky cranberry look. I think that's like what I'm going for today. So I'm going to start off and the little pamphlet. This little pamphlet has all the names. I really hate that. I wish they would have put the names in the palette. But I am going to stay in mainly this section of the palette. Yeah, this section of the palette, because it does have some nice, beautiful, warm cranberry looks, or it does have some nice, beautiful cranberry shades, and I really want to go in with this shade today, so I think I'm going to stay with this side of the palette today. Okay guys, we are going to get started. I'm going to be applying tape today because I really want that nice winged out look. I want it to be nice and sharp. And the first color I am going to be taking is Play It Cool in the palette, and I'm taking that on an E27 brush from Morphe, and I'm just going to be applying it to my lids and making sure that I buff that color out nicely. And I really like this color for transition. It's one of my favorite transition colors in the whole palette, so I'm just applying this and making sure that I'm buffing it out right. Okay, so the next color I'm going to go in with is Sweet Beets in the palette, and this is a nice cranberry color, and I'm just working that a little bit lower than the last color was put in the crease. As you guys can tell, it's very, very pigmented and it's blending out beautifully. So I'm just going to take this and take it a little bit lower than the last shade and just work that into the crease. So now I'm going to be going in with this Morphe M562 brush, and this is more of a precision brush. I'm going to be going ahead and taking that in the shade Candy Crush, and I'm just going ahead and deepening up the crease with this. As you guys can tell, this is more precise and it's able to get into the crease area a lot more. And this shade is a little bit deeper than the last shade that we used. If you guys can tell, it's a little bit more of a deeper cranberry shade. And so I'm just going ahead and deepening it up, and then as well as going back with another brush and just blending it out. Going back into the palette and getting this shade Sparks Fly from the palette with the Elizabeth Mott blending brush, and I'm taking that on the outer corner of the eye just to deepen it up a little bit. If you guys can tell, this shade of brown is a little bit more of a red tone brown, so this matches really well with this eye. So I just wanted to go ahead and start deepening up the outer crease of this eye and making sure that all the colors are blending together. I'm sticking with blending these colors out as well as I'm going, just to make sure that everything's nice and blended. Now I'm going to be taking the shade Black Magic on this mini tapered brush from Luxie, and it is the 121 brush. This is more of a precise brush as well, and I'm just going ahead and taking a little bit of that black at a time. I don't want to go in with too much, so I am just taking a little bit at a time and kind of deepening up that outer crease as I go, and I'm making sure to blend these colors out as well as I'm going. So I'm going to be taking this beautiful cranberry color in the palette in the shade Color Persona, and I'm taking that on this flat shader brush, and I'm just spraying my brush a little bit with a little bit of the Marc Jacobs setting spray. I'm going to go ahead and apply it to my lid area. As you guys can tell, this is a very vibrant, beautiful color, and I did spray my brush not because of the pigmentation, mainly because I didn't want a lot of fallout, but as you guys can tell, this color is very, very pigmented. It's beautiful, and it builds up really nicely, as you guys can see. And I'm just going back and blending the outer crease area as well. So I'm going to be spraying my brush again and applying it to the other side. And I'm just making sure that I'm building this color up. As you guys can see, like I said, it is a beautiful cranberry shade. This is such a beautiful color in the palette, and it's what inspired me to create this look today. As you guys can tell, that black on the outer crease is a little bit light, but I am going to go back and deepen it up a little later. I'm going to be going in with a little bit of this liquid liner from Urban Decay in the shade Volume. And then I'm going to be taking a little bit more of that Color Persona and applying it on top of that. If you guys can see, I went a little bit heavy with the wing, but the reason for that is because I really wanted that outer corner to be nice and deep and dark, so I'm applying a little bit more of that Black Magic shade on top of it, just to create a nice matte outer corner. When I do take off the tape, it is going to be nice and more precise of a wing, but for now I know it looks a little bit dull, but when the tape does come off, it is going to be more precise and much cleaner of a look. But as you guys can see, I am going back and forth and deepening it up, and as I take off the tape, you guys will see how precise that liner stayed, and I'm glad that the wing did end up going a little bit thicker. So I'm going to be going in with the same lashes that I always use, the more flared out ones, but these are a little bit old and I need to clean them. As you guys can tell, I do go in and try and clean them up with a little bit of the black liner, but this time that didn't work, so I do have to go ahead and clean them because you will be able to see a little bit of the old glue on top. But other than that, see, as you guys can see, there's a little bit of glue left, but I'm so sorry for that. I am going to be going in with the Cover FX Blurring Primer, and this is one of my favorite primers to use for the face. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply a little bit. So now I'm going in with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation in the shade 205 Natural Beige. This is one of my favorite foundations just in general, not even from the drugstore. If anything, I would purchase this over and over again. This is like my third bottle, but it is one of my favorites, and I'm just blending that out with my Morphe sponge. Now I'm going to be taking the CNC concealer in the shade Light Nude, and this is a new concealer to me. I did want to go ahead and purchase one from the drugstore. I believe this one cost me about $2.98, and so far it works great. It isn't like the most full coverage concealer, but honestly I don't need a full coverage concealer. I just really like it for the brightening up of the under eye. So as you guys can tell, it is very, very brightening, and that's why I like this shade. So I picked it up from Walmart about 2 days ago. It's a new brand that I seen in the drugstore. I'm not sure if it's new in general. It's just new to me. So as you guys can tell, it does work really well, and it does cover up quite a bit. It's just not full coverage. So I am going to be blending that out with my Morphe sponge. Now I'm just going to be baking a little bit with that setting powder and making sure that I set my under eyes nicely. And as you guys can tell, I am going ahead and whatever's left over on the sponge, I am applying that to the rest of my face. And I do go back a little bit in my T-zone because I do crease in my forehead area a lot. As you guys can tell, I have a lot of lines in my forehead, but I do go ahead and set that. So I'm going to be going back in with the shade Talk Dirty. And I'm going to be taking that on the lower lash line because I really want to go ahead and smoke out this lower lash line because I don't feel like it would be a complete look without smoking out the lower lash line. Now I'm going to be going in with the shade FOTD in the palette, and I'm going to be buffing out that brown shade that we used on our lower lash line. And I'm going to go ahead and start buffing that in and making sure that that under eye is nice and smoked out. I really love a nice smoked out under eye area. As you guys can tell, it creates such a different look than if you were to go in with nothing on the under eyes. I do this all the time with every look I do. If not, I feel like my eyes feel very naked. So if you guys can tell, this just creates a nice smoked out look. I mean, you guys don't have to go in and do this. You guys can just add a little bit of mascara and eyeliner, but I do love to smoke that out. I'm going to be going in with the shade Black Magic now, and I'm going to be taking that in on this nice definer brush and creating a nice line. As you guys can tell, this is a beautiful dark shade. It's very black. So I'm going to be taking that and just creating a nice defined line on the under eye area. And then I'll go back in a little bit and take a little bit more of that red shade that we were using, and I'm just going to go ahead and buff out that black so it's not so stark. Okay, so now I'm going to be going in with my Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer from Physicians Formula, and I am going to be applying a ton of this. I love bronzer. Bronzer is like one of my favorite makeup items besides eyeshadow palettes. Bronzer is like one of my top favorite things. As you guys can tell, it does warm up the face. I do go ahead and go in and kind of blend out that bronzer helmet that I have going on, but I do love bronzer, so I do go pretty heavy with it. Other than that, I am going to be taking a little bit of that bronzer and taking it on the nose just to go ahead and create a nice contour nose. I'm not the best at this. This isn't something that I know how to do. I just wanted to go ahead and contour my nose a little bit just to create a nice defined nose. So now I'm going to go ahead and carve out my cheekbones. As you guys can tell, as always, I do this all the time. I love to clean up the bronzer that I have going on there because I get really messy. And now I'm going to be going in with this blush from Revolution Makeup. It is a matte blush in the shade Nude. And these are some of my favorite blushes. They are very cheap. I think they run about $2 and some change. But it's a very nude color. As you guys can tell, I'm going ahead and wiping away whatever translucent powder I have because, like I said, my face is very dry, so I like to get rid of that as soon as possible. Now I'm going to be going in with this highlighter from Becca. This is in the shade Prosecco Pop. The Becca highlighters are some of my favorite highlighters. This is one of my favorite gold tone highlighters. I don't really wear gold tones, but if I was to wear one, these are like the shades I go for because it's more of a champagne gold. So as you guys can tell, this is beautiful, especially with this look. I wanted something a little bit more gold tone. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that on the bridge of my nose, on my chin area, and of course my cupid's bow as well. So I do go pretty heavy with the highlighter. Now I'm going to be taking this MAC lip liner in the shade Cultured. And this is more of a nude lip liner. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my lips, but I did want to go in with something more nude. And I am going to be going in with two different liquid lipsticks that I just recently picked up. They remind me of the Kylie Jenner liquid lipsticks because of the packaging, but they aren't like the best liquid lipsticks. They do last, but of course they're not as good as the Kylie Jenner ones. This is in the shade Angel Wings, and as you guys can tell, it also has like that little bit of dripping effect on the outer packaging. And I really like the doe foot applicator on these liquid lipsticks. They're pretty awesome. They're kind of pointed up, so it's easier to kind of get into the creases of your lips. So I thought that one was a little bit too pinky, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with this one in the shade Trust Me, and it's a little bit of a darker color, and I just wanted to create a little bit more of an ombre lip, so I do take that on only the outer corners of my lip area. And now the finishing step is just to lock in that powder with setting spray. Okay guys, so this is going to be the final look using the Morphe 35M palette. And once again, of course, all of the colors worked perfectly. I love the way everything blended out. I like the look that I created. I really enjoy it. And all of the colors were very vibrant, very true to color, very pigmented. Like I said, you can create so many different looks using just this one palette alone. And I'm glad that I got to show you guys a few looks. Of course, the last video was one side each with different looks, but I did want to create something for you guys that was a full-on look for you guys, and I went ahead and went with this smoky cranberry eye. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you are not already, and also hit that post notification bell so you guys are notified every time I post a video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye!